Hello everyone, and let's do a wrap up. Now, this particular readathon took place in April. I got my dragon riding license on it. Bog cataloger, I think was one of them, and then there was something with desert stuff. Anyway, I did some of the extra stuff. And I'm talking about the magical read-along, the Spring Orilium Academy. This was created by G, and holy cow, she does a really good job creating this story and everything. This is just really fun being in this world at like a college level. This is just really fun. It takes place twice a year. So we just did the spring, the summer one will be coming up. Now, I am doing things just a little bit differently. I am part of the Order of the Crescent. I am not creative enough to come up with my own character, but I did all of that back stuff when things were starting. So I've been participating in this the whole time. Now, with these classes, my understanding is as long as the class is completed before the next term or semester, in this case the autumn equinox or autumn Orilium, whenever that takes place, as long as the spring classes are done before the autumn one starts. So I have finished today, being May 10th, my class for Master of the Elements. I'm Order of the Crescent. This is one specifically for Order of the Crescent. I have always wanted, like, if people would ask if you had magical abilities, I would love to control the elements, control the water, the sun, everything. It's always been my go-to. I want to control the elements. So Master of the Elements, I feel like was made for me. Thank you, G, for that. So there were 6 classes on this. Now, this is what's going to be different on this. I'm not going to go into big synopsises. I might tell you like a small little thing of what the book is about, but overall I'll tell you what I rated it and how many pages, things like that. So I have written down, so I have this notebook, okay? I have written down every class and every career that you can do for spring. So, for example, my priority, because what I want to go into is Master of the Elements. I've completed it every time. So that's my priority at every semester, term, equinox that we do this. Master of the Elements is going to be my priority. So, but I've written down all of them. Every single one of them. So, the next one I have is Herbologist. And then I have Wild from the Druid, Demonologist, Beastmaster. So I have all of the ones written down along with their classes, so all of the prompts. The ones that are, for example, there are some classes like Astronomy, Constellations 3. This is a zodiac recommendation. I specifically Googled horror book recommendations for my zodiac sign. I am a Sagittarius. So I have already put all of those recommendations on all of these. And then when I ran out of the horror books, I put romance. So I have all of these. I even have, even though I will not be doing them, what I want to do, let me just say this. Okay, so I even have Dreamwalker, which is for the Mind Walkers Guild only. I have Godseer, which is for the Archivists, and Archmage, which is for the House of the Arcane. So I even have those, but those are the last priority out of everything else. So Master of the Elements is first. Out of all the other classes that are not house specific, I've ordered those in order of if I was not, or Master of the Elements was not available, what would be my preference as far as those classes or careers that we're working towards. And then out of the ones for the other houses, I've put those in order of what I would have done for those if I was a part of it. Anyway, so just what I would be more interested in if they were available. So my goal is I want to see how many of these careers I can work towards before the autumn equinox starts. So Master of the Elements is done. And then I am planning on doing a wrap-up video for example, I'm going to work on Herbologist next. There's only 2 classes I need to take for that. And so once I've completed both of those classes, I will put forward another wrap-up video specifically for herbologists. So if this is something that you're wanting to catch up on, maybe I'll show a book that it's like circles on the cover and you go, oh, that is similar to another book that's on my shelf or on my TBR stack. And it'll kind of help jog your memory or something. And so that you can, rather than trying to scrounge around and panic or whatever, hopefully it'll jog your memory or something to get a book on your TBR or go, oh, hey, I have that book. That sounds good. And then maybe you'll want to read it. I don't know. But I figure, why the heck not? So that's my goal. I am very much an overachiever with stuff like this. Okay, so look, I'm autistic. Learning is hard for me, okay? Like, I mean, I can do it. I'm very much a hands-on. I have to do stuff repetitively, very tactile, things like that. If I were just sit in a lecture hall, I basically, those types of classes, I fail. Okay, I can't stand lecture classes. So this make-believe school is right up my alley. I love this. We have in the United States a college that you can get an online degree in called Western Governors University. They have a very limited selection with classes that you can do. I went to Western Governors University, which for me and the way my mind works was the ideal school setting because it was all from home, 100% from home, on computer. Yes, they had deadlines, but you could work with it and it was still pretty much on your schedule. You can go as fast as you want and test out of the class before anyone else that's in the class tests out. If you need a little bit longer, they'll work with you, things like that. So the setup for Western Governors University is like my ideal school setting. So I do love learning as long as it's something that interests me in any way. I will do that. So Western Governors University, I got a master's degree in human resource management. Am I doing anything with my degree? No. No, I can't. No, my health is crap. And when I worked in the office, migraines, I would get 2 or 3 a week. With now being approved to work from home, I can get a migraine 1 or 2 every 2 or 3 months. So the severity has decreased and the frequency has decreased. So I am very grateful to be working from home. I think a lot of it is the overstimulation with the sounds, the smells, the lights, with being in the office, working from home. I can control my environment. Anyway, I love to learn, so that was just my big roundabout way of saying I love that G has created this magical school so I can go to school without actually going to school, because school is stupid expensive. So no cost for this one though, just my time and reading, which I am okay with giving that up. Giving up my time so that I can read more. That's what I meant. So let's get into this Master of the Elements. 6 classes. First one is Elemental Studies. This is to call lightning. This is to read a book with a source of light on the cover. I reread, this was a reread for me, left the star rating the same, The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. As you can see, there is a, call it whatever you want. I mean, there's like not rays, so it's like it could be either the sun setting or the moon rising, or maybe the moon is setting. But with the blue at the top, I'm thinking more either the sun is setting or the moon is rising. Who knows, but either way, that's your source of light on the cover. I gave this 3 stars. It was 127 pages. This is a classic. It's just an old man that goes out to sea to catch a big fish. That's pretty much all this is. So, number 2, I've got to move over a little bit. Shape-shifting. This is Mimics. This is to read an author who blurbed your last 5-star read. Now, I do not remember what my last 5-star read that I based this prompt off of, but the author that blurbed the 5-star book was Rachel Harrison. So I read an ebook, and the ebook that I read was Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. This was a werewolf with a bit of romance, but it's a horror. Gal gets bit and you're following the perspective. A lot of werewolf books that I read are men as the werewolves. So it was very different and interesting and enjoyable to read it from a female werewolf's perspective. I gave this book 4 stars and it was 325 pages. Class number 3, and you can do these classes in any order. Let's see, class number 3, Animal Studies, Pebble Ducks. This is to read a book with a yellow title. I went with The House Witch by Delemhach. The title is a shade of yellow. I mean, it's not bright, bold neon yellow or anything, but it's still yellow. This is like a cozy fantasy. I love this book. I have pre-ordered the 3rd one. I don't remember when it's going to come in, but I'm so excited for it to come in. This is book number 2 in the House Witch series. Book number 1 is also titled The House Witch. So I'm looking forward to number 3, written by Delemhach. There's really not much to say. I mean, we're following Finley Ash Owen. The reference in this one was a lot about the redhead. So Finley Ash Owen has red hair. He's magical. He is a house witch. He can make his home safe with his magical abilities. His cooking is like spot on. If you have an upset stomach, he can fix something that will help cure your upset stomach or migraine, or if you're feeling sad, that can help lift your mood. Yeah. So I hear people talking about cozy fantasies, and this, in my opinion, definitely falls within a cozy fantasy. I haven't read anything that specifically stated it's a cozy fantasy. Maybe at some point this will be stated it's a cozy fantasy, but it is not stated as that, at least where I have looked as of yet. But the way people have described cozy fantasy, this fits the bill for this series. 5 freaking stars, 349 pages of absolute fun, goodness. Nothing made me really laugh out loud, but I sure giggled quite a bit. So sometimes humor is hard for me to get. It tends to go over my head. Although I think, now I don't know if it's, I know that a lot of people that are autistic, in my experience and in the research that I have done and in my own life experience, have trouble understanding certain humors. Does not mean they don't have a sense of humor, but can have trouble understanding jokes as they are delivered, or maybe it's how the person that's delivering the joke is stating it, matching the facial expressions and trying to read everything. Because like I go to a movie and I hear people around me laughing and it's like, I don't get what was so funny. It goes over my head. But in the book, where I'm not watching someone and trying to see everything, I don't know, for me, any jokes that are written down in a book, to me, are delivered better than they would be in person and on screen on a movie or TV show. So I giggled. So I enjoyed this. I had a great time. But yeah, this is a book I highly, highly recommend. Prompt number 4 was astronomy. This is constellations number 3. So this is to read a book that is a zodiac recommendation. So as I said earlier in the video, I did a Google search. I did just horror recommendations for the people that are Sagittarius. So the horror book that was recommended for those who are Sagittarius, because again, that is my star sign, was Maynard's House. This is one of them. This is the one I went with. This was written by Herman Raucher, I'm guessing. Could be wrong on that pronunciation. Read this one via ebook. For me, the horror was not there. For this one, so this takes place during the Vietnam War. You're following this guy as he goes to Vietnam. He gets to know Maynard. Maynard gets killed in the war and gives his house to his combat buddy. The buddy moves to Maine. This takes place in the United States in Maine. And so he moves into this house. And then things start to happen where you're questioning, is it PTSD? Is this guy having flashbacks or something that's triggering post-traumatic stress from, it doesn't say post-traumatic stress, but you're wondering if it's like hallucinations of some kind, audio and visual hallucinations. So I'm thinking, could it be PTSD from the war? Could it be something else? Is he having some kind of a psychotic break? Is he maybe having schizophrenia episodes or something else? Because it's not talking about drugs or any medications that could be causing any sort of hallucinations. So you're thinking psychologically, is something happening? Or is it paranormal activity? So hallucinations, you know, whether for whatever reason, paranormal is hinted at, but there's also questions that draw or things that make you question and think, is there someone that's out to get him to make him think he is losing his mind and having these hallucinations, and someone's just being a very mean person? So to me, there were too many questions. I didn't get enough answers at the end, and the way it wrapped up was very unsatisfactory to me. It wasn't unsettling, it was just like, I was left very confused. And I've read, if I know the book is supposed to leave me confused, I can generally follow along. For example, Jeff Vandermeer, sometimes those tend to be confusing books. And I enjoy those because I know that's what I'm expecting. This book, I was not expecting to be so confused towards the end. So I gave it 2 stars. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I can say about it. I wanted to know what happened, and boy, was I disappointed by that ending. So 2 stars, and this one was 272 pages. Prompt number 5, Conjuration. This is a blinding prism. So I did a color wheel, and the color that came up for me is teal. So I did a search. There are various shades of teal. And there's teal on this cover, so this is what I went with. So, various shades of teal, except I look at this and I go, oh, that's seafoam greenish. But yeah, no, it like matches what I pulled up on Google Images for various shades of teal. There's various shades of teal. That's all I got to say about this one. Bloodwalker by L.X. Cain. This is a horror book. I bought this one from my library book sale from my local library. And I'm glad I did. This takes place in 2 places. We're following a traveling circus. We have 2 points of view. We have, I just finished this book today when filming this video. Rurik and Sylvie. Is that the other one? Yes, Sylvie. Rurik is head of security for the circus. Sylvie is what is called a bloodwalker, which is basically the simplest way to describe a bloodwalker is someone that takes care of a deceased person's body, and they were utilized more before the, what are they called? I don't know. The places that we now know that take care of and do the embalming and things like that. Bloodwalkers were before that time, and then the usage of bloodwalkers as these cemetery houses or whatever they're called now, I'm drawing a blank on it, became more popular and utilized more. Bloodwalkers are kind of going out the window. So as far as being used. So yeah, Sylvie is drawn to a forced marriage. You have domestic abuse in this. So definitely be aware of this. This is a horror, so there's quite a few trigger warnings. Bad stuff happens to children, not sexually. I will say that, okay? So rest at ease at that. But you have missing children. It's following a traveling circus. Rurik, the head of security, sees a clown and thinks that this clown is the one that's kidnapping and abducting these children. So he's trying to figure out who this clown is, and you're following this path. This takes place in areas of Hungary and Romania. So, and there are some words that it does talk, like Sylvie is Hungarian, I think, and Rurik is Romanian, except he speaks both Hungary and Romanian. So you have a little bit of that. There were a couple of times that I think some of the words, like maybe 1 or 2 words in this whole book, were actually in the native language of Hungarian or Romanian, but then it was said, oh, this is what they said in English, because I don't understand any other language other than English, really. So this was fun. This does get a little gory. I like the gore. For me, the gorier, the better. So it definitely could have gone gorier, but for being 280 pages, I thought it was pretty well done. And I enjoyed this, so 4 stars is what I ended up giving this one. And then prompt number 6 for Master of the Elements is Restoration. This is regaining consciousness. This is to read a book that you think could cure slumps. This is all subjective, as we all know. So for me, my idea is either it has to really grip me, and I think everyone should read it, and it's going to help everyone really enjoy the reading and get them out of their slumps, or has to be a short read, like a short story or a novella, to kind of help get you into things. So I'm going with just that, a novella. This one was 79 pages, and it is a spicy monster romance. Ebook, I read Halloween Dream by Storie Devereux. It's monster smut. The female is human, the male is monster. It starts out, the Monstrous Mistake collection that this is in, each book is written by a different author. The premise is the same. It's all a romance between a female woman and a monster man that I've read so far. Now, sometimes you do have there's a few that I've read that have had 2 men and 1 female, so you do have a male, female, male, but most of the time it's male and female. Monsters vary from fallen angels to demons to there was a gargoyle, an alien. So those all vary. Vampires. So they're just a fun smut if you like spicy, smutty romance and would not mind having like the alien or a fallen angel, something like that, then you might like these books. So quick, very quick reads. They're fun, take place on there are some that take place like a day or 2 after Halloween, and some a week or 2, and some quite a while after. Like it always starts on Halloween, at least all the ones that I've read so far. And they're just a fun, quick read. So yeah, why not? I'm sure this will help some people get out of reading slumps. So I gave that one 3 stars. Those are the books that I've read for Master of the Elements. I have completed that course. So I have read 3 ebooks and 3 physical books. So that's a total 6 prompts, 6 books. Total pages, 1,432 pages. So divided amongst the 6 books, that is an average of about 239 pages. It's a little less than that. It's like 238.67, something like that. I'm just going to round up, 239 pages. I gave 1 book 2 stars, 2 books 3 stars, 2 books 4 stars, and 1 book a 5 star. That's 21 stars issued for this class or this career path. So amongst the 6 books, that is a 3.5 star average. So let me know, did you participate in the Spring Orilium Equinox? What career path did you choose, and did you complete it, or are you just going to let yourself wait and not push yourself so much to complete it in the 1 month? Are you going to give yourself until the autumn one starts? Let me know. Did you read any of these books or from any of these authors? Talk to me in the comment section below, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.